Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our CIAA segment of our HBCU 2024 football preview. Again, I am your co-host, Reggie. That is my co-host, Norwood. We just
What up,
finished
though?
SIA. Good, man. We just finished SIAC. So we're going to jump right into the CIAA. This is, every time I think of CIAA, I think about basketball. But
Yeah.
you better put some
You don't
respect on
really
their
think about
name.
basketball. You really think about having a good time in the name of basketball, to be completely honest.
Sometimes you have a little too good a time. You end up on the internet.
Excuse me, say what? Oh.
Another story for another day. CIAA, man, y'all better put some respect on their name. They definitely have Super Bowl champion alumni, including Mr. Williams from the Kansas City Chiefs and with the Fayetteville State University. So, without further ado, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. The CIAA, big news. They are following the SIAC and the model that a lot of these other conferences, both FBS, FCS, 1A, 1AA, Division 2 and 3 are doing. They are eliminating divisions. So they are making it to where it's just the top two teams, kind of like the Big Ten. Shout out to the Big Ten. We give you a lot of flack, but y'all were one of the first to do this among major college football, was to eliminate divisions. No, it's Big 12. I'm sorry. Big 12 was to eliminate divisions and go ahead and just make it the top two teams. That was the Big 12 that did it first. So they're doing it now. So this should be
Well, I
fun.
think a lot of that is due to the
Numbers.
fluidity of these conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Just if the team is having the right type of season, or they don't like the way that the conference is going, or hell, if other people in the conference don't like the way that it's going and they want to jump on the bandwagon and run away, then they can do that. And I think for the conference, I have to continuously restructure if it's East and West. Now I can take the sides out of this. If you're the best, you're the best, and we can figure it out from there. I
Yep.
think that's just more of where we are as far as the times than anything, which is crazy.
Yeah, man. So they got rid of the Northern and Southern divisions. I agree with you. Uh, CIAA, they have 23 returning players from the all CIAA team, including 18 first teamers combined. Uh, of course, Virginia Union's Jada Byers and Isaiah Freeman from Lincoln headline those players. Jada Byers was the CIAA leading rusher, 1,100 yards on 16 touchdowns with an average of 118 yards per game. Uh, woo, wow. And Isaiah
I don't,
Freeman,
I don't care where you're playing football. That's
woo,
damn good football.
woo. That's fundamentals. That I am going to run faster or be stronger than you or both.
That's a rough day
Um,
for somebody too, boy.
and then Offensive Player of the Year, Isaiah Freeman from Lincoln threw for 2,300 yards, 25 touchdowns, and ran for 500 yards. So he had about a 3,000 yard season with 25 touchdowns. So it's going to be an interesting. There's a lot of parity in this league. I believe Virginia Union won last. No, Virginia Union won last year. In this game, in the championship game. So, without further ado, let's get to the preseason rankings for these teams. Virginia State. Well, we'll start at the bottom. No, we won't. We'll start at the top here. Virginia State, Virginia State, and Virginia Union are the flagship schools of right now. And Fayetteville State. That top three has separated themselves from everybody else. If you look at Lincoln at number 8, we just told y'all they had the CIAA Player of the Year, and they are picked to finish 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, for me, one of the things that I was looking at, especially, we'll talk about Hampton a little bit later, but the MEAC is precedent. A lot of it is how many players you have from the 757, how many players you have from Virginia. Virginia State and Virginia Union being at the top of this is they're getting a lot of those players. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the things that, and I'll talk about it when we get to Hampton, is you have to recruit your state, and you have to recruit your state very well to be successful. If you can't consistently be the winner in your state, then to a certain degree, you're going to be a loser.
If you're not first, you last.
Well, if yes,
All right, Ricky Bobby.
if you're not recruiting your state well, then it's going to show up in your record.
It
And
can.
I think that's very prevalent, specifically because if you look at these schools, CIAA, that's Southeast. If you look at the MEAC and the players who are all conference, they're mostly Southeast or Eastern kids. The SWAC is mostly players from the Southwest. So if you're not winning, then to a certain degree, like I said, you're losing. You really scraping up on whatever's really left. You're surviving on leftovers. You can live on spaghetti, but you ain't thriving.
Throw a little Kaneka, throw a little Kaneka in there for some razzle dazzle.
Dress it up and make it real.
And the thing about Virginia State and Virginia Union, though, that is interesting is if you look at the key players or the all CIAA preseason all conference team, all of Virginia Union's players, except for maybe a running back, and I'll even throw that in there, are all like smash mouth players. Kalen Carver is a do-it-all tight end. Then you have offensive lineman Matthias Nelson, offensive lineman Jamie Moyer, for Virginia Union, Virginia State, offensive lineman Bruno Anwazar, got it. Bruno Anwazar from Virginia State. And then you have the running backs from Virginia Union. And then even on defensive lineman Isaiah Anderson, as well as linebacker and defensive back Shamar Graham. So, like, the front seven for these two teams, Virginia State and Virginia Union, are dominate. And they seem to be ready to punch you in the mouth. And if you're not ready, you can go ahead and fold it up.
I mean, that's life, right? If you're not ready, you get punched in your mouth. The rest of your day is probably not going well. This is no different.
Yep. Now, Lincoln has a pretty good passing attack. They're expected to take another step in their passing attack. They have Malachi Langley, as well as we talked about the player of the year in Isaiah Freeman, who's a quarterback. There's a team here, though, that's pick number 5. Bowie State, before last year, I don't know if they graduated those players or whatever. They had like a 3 or 4 year run. They were pretty good, especially defensively. If there's any team that I expect to be pretty good and rebound, it's Bowie State. They don't have anything written up about them, which kind of makes me nervous. But Bowie State will probably be my team to jump up and scare a lot of these players.
That is a thing that scares the hell out of me, and it frustrates the hell out of me. To a certain degree, there should just be more information on these schools. Yeah, there has to be more information on these schools, and there needs to be more outlets for each individual school.
Now, I'll plug CIAA, SIAC, MEAC, and SWAC. I will say, gathering some of this information, they are definitely getting better. The thing is,
I'll give them that. I will give them that.
They are still catching up. So, like the SIAC, for example, has a strong social media presence. CIAA has a pretty decent social media presence. So you can go right there to Instagram, TikTok, or Google, and it'll come up right there. Whereas the MEAC, you kind of go, in the SWAC, you kind of got to go to the actual website. You have to go to the website and then follow all these links. We passed those days. That's crazy. To go to a website is the olden times. Now, you got to have an app. You got to have something. So shout out to the CIAA for making all of this readily available.
Make this available for your uncles, man. Double side.
Yes, sir. But as I said before, I look for Bowie State to challenge. Ooh, y'all know my wife went to Virginia State. So I got to pick Virginia State to hold on to the number 1 spot.
You don't got to do nothing. Stand up for yourself.
I'm not, no. Bro, I done had peace.
Get on up.
I done had a whole lot of peace. Shout out to Claflin College down there. They don't have a football team. So it is actually, I think it's 13 teams on or 12 teams in the CIAA. It's actually a bunch of teams in the SIAC. Claflin doesn't have one. Lenoir Rhine in the SIC doesn't have one. So there's a bunch of other schools that don't have teams. But for the ones that do have teams, CIAA, Virginia State, Virginia Union is going to be a hell of a game. Fayetteville State is there. Johnson C. Smith and Bowie State. I think the top three have separated themselves. I think Bowie State could probably get one of those two teams. Virginia State, Union, or State, they could catch them on a bad day and could win that game because of defense. They muck up the game. But those first three,
I
Virginia
definitely
State,
see what
Union,
you
State,
did with the left and right, though. You definitely sent a message with teams on the left. Y'all are competitive teams on the right. Get right.
I didn't, but I mean it's 1 through 11. So I mean, after about 4, if you on the right, you trying to just see progress. No shade. No shade. But anyway, that's the CIAA. Really quick. Like I said, it's 3 teams. We talked about Isaiah Freeman, Jada Byers. They are Virginia Union is predicted to finish second. Fayetteville State finished runner up, and Virginia State just missed the championship game. So that should be fun. I believe the game was played down here. Wasn't it played in Atlanta too, right? The SIAC? The championship
Correct.
game. So I'll be looking forward to that. SplashCast will be out there. Do you want to take a break or you want to keep going? Go straight to the MEAC.
Let's break it, beer, and then come right back. Short break.
Short break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We finish our CIAA segment. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back with our
hold on,
MEAC.
man. Stop. Hey, y'all do us a favor. We know y'all. This is the favorite podcast in the world. We know y'all hop up every day, listen to us bright and early in the morning on your way to work. Do us a favor, like, follow, subscribe. Send your friends a text. Tell them you love them. We out.
We'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned.